Welcome back to another episode of whatever I feel like talking about today. It's going to be about INC token today. This is PulseChain's INC coin. Now, a lot of people don't know about this, but I'm going to be talking about whether or not I'm holding it, am I buying it, why am I holding it, why am I buying it, am I selling it, or am I just yield farming it? And at the end of the video, of course, you can make up your own decision, make up your own mind about whether or not you want to hold INC token, because of course it's your call at the end of the day. Now, I have actually changed my mind on INC tokens. Stick around, I'm going to tell you about why. But at first, I'm not going to lie, at first I was selling INC token for maybe 1 or 2 months. Maybe around the third month is when I started to have this realization that maybe it was worth holding on to some. And by the way, guys, I am farming INC token. I'm not currently buying it, but I am farming it because I buy the other coins and I'm farming them in a yield farm to earn INC token. Now, there's a lot of cool narratives. There's a lot of things about this coin that makes it an anomaly when compared to the blue chips in PulseChain. Now, what do I mean by the blue chips? Of course, this is on gopulse.com. I'm talking about PLS, PLSX, Hex on PulseChain, and of course, INC token. Now, this token, there's a lot we could say about it, right? There's a lot we could say. It is newer, okay? So it is new, cycle 1. Some people call it a meme coin. So if you like meme coins, you could look at this like a meme coin because there's no utility for it right now. And if there's one thing meme coiners hate, it's when you have a utility on your token. Nobody wants utility. Now, you might have a utility on this one day, which could be a potential reason it would pump in the future, all right? But INC token is just different, right? It's different. It's, first of all, it's green, so it's just nice to see a green coin. That's a great feature about this INC token. You know, it's green. Green is the color of number go up. I think we can all agree on that. And now let's go back to the PulseChain's INC token. This is my tweet. We can talk about why people might like this, why I started to change my mind and seeing the potential, at least for the next cycle, in INC token. And by the way, guys, when it comes to selling coins, when it comes to selling coins in the top euphoria of a bull market, taking profit, personally, INC has got to be the first to go. Okay, it's kind of like the ugly stepchild of the Richard Heart ecosystem, but I love it for this cycle. And I love the fact that I'll be able to keep earning it long term as well. I'll probably always hold a bag just in case, we slap some utility on there later on. Billy Mays style, right? Fix your coin up, just slap some utility on there. And anybody could slap some utility onto INC token. It is ripe for utility. But right now it doesn't have any. And that's okay. That's okay. Meme coins, they don't have any utility either, except for, pictures of dogs. But look, INC token had a fair launch, started from zero supply. This is very attractive to some people. Now, I don't really buy into the whole fair launch narrative a lot of times because people just lie. Okay, people lie. They're like, oh, we're having a fair launch. And they don't tell you that it's not actually fair at all. There was an early group of investors or whitelisted addresses or insiders. Okay, but with INC token, it actually was a fair launch. It was distributed in a way that's different than Pulse, PulseX, and Hex in the PulseChain ecosystem. Again, the core coins. I'm calling them the blue chips. They're also the core coins. If you're going to invest in PulseChain, these are the coins to pick, but with Hex, Hex had a year-long launch phase called the adoption amplifier. Pulse and PulseX had sacrifice phases, right? People sacrificed their money. INC token didn't have any of that. The only way to get it was to start farming it from zero supply. And right now, INC is inflating from zero. Now, the supply of INC token, by the way, is very low compared to all the other ones. Look, there's only 32 million coins in existence right now. That's nothing compared to trillions of Pulse, trillions of PulseX, and billions of Hex. Okay, so all these other coins, they've got unit bias working on their side. But if you hate unit bias for some reason, that's another reason you might like INC token. It's got reverse unit bias. So, look at it, guys. INC is the only token here with a whole number dollar value. Today it's $2.79. All these other coins are under a penny, right? Imagine if they get to a penny. Wow, wouldn't that be great? Yes, that's why unit bias works, right? Because people imagine it getting to a whole dollar value. But look, INC is already over $1. So if you like that, look, you're going to like INC. Different strokes for different folks. But look, this leads into my next point, that it started from zero supply, but how did it get minted into existence? The only people that can mint INC are the yield farmers on PulseX. So over here is app.pulsex.com. Link in description below, of course, for all this stuff. If you want to be a yield farmer, got previous videos about it. You have to educate yourself about impermanent loss. You have to be bullish on both coins in the pair. And you have to be okay with temporarily having more of one coin, less of another coin, because the balances you put in are going to start fluctuating right away. Because yield farming, by being a liquidity provider, means you're letting other people trade using your money. So if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that risk on a lot of these pairs. And I'm loving the 15% yield on the PulseX pair, the 30% yield on the Hex Pulse pair. And actually more recently, I just joined about a month ago. I joined the INC PulseX pair. And this one's paying out 40% APY. Look, 40%, 30%, 80% on stablecoin pairs. This could be a good idea for another strategy we'll talk about later. 16% on PulseX. This is incredibly high yield if you're bullish on both coins in the pair. So you would just go provide liquidity first over here for that pair and then stake it in the yield farm. Of course, I've got tutorial videos about that. These are all symmetric liquidity, by the way. We're talking about Uniswap V2 here. So if you're going to put up $5,000 of Pulse, you need to put up $5,000 of PulseX as well to have matching symmetric liquidity pools. Uniswap V2 is actually a feature. It's actually easier for coins to be predictable and to pump harder this way without giant sell walls. So anyway, going back to the only mintable by liquidity providers. What do we know about liquidity providers? Well, they're power users, okay? They understand PulseChain on a deeper level because they understand liquidity providing. You might already be yield farming, okay, or liquidity providing. Liquidity providing and yield farming are interchangeable here, all right? The moral of the story is that it's in stronger hands. And I can say that from experience. I know that personally, I'm a stronger hand than 90% of you guys out there. I know that. And because of this, I'm okay with leaving my Pulse and PulseX in this yield farm. And I'm okay with holding Hex and PLS for many, many years. I'm okay with holding some small bag of INC, pairing it to PulseX. And I'm going to show you guys why, because the chart for this one looks great. Looks actually very remarkable. Stick around. We're going to talk about that in a minute. INC PulseX in particular. But if these yield farms are attractive to you because you believe in these coins long term, such as me, for example, everybody else yield farming probably has a similar mentality of me that they're bullish on Hex Pulse, PulseX, INC token. I've even been thinking about joining Ethereum Pulse, right? Because Ethereum is going to go up and PulseChain can go up with it. These coins are in stronger hands. Okay, these coins are in stronger hands, and the mintability of them is only given to the people that take the risk of impermanent loss. Now, I've got previous videos. If you don't understand impermanent loss, don't do this without understanding it. But if it's too scary for you, you can always just buy the coin on the open market, okay? You don't have to mint it by yield farming. You don't have to do this. If it's too complicated for you, maybe you don't care. Maybe it's not that you're scared. Maybe you just don't care, okay? A lot of people just don't want to deal with anything complicated. And a lot of times, people are better off buying a coin and just holding it until, bull market euphoria or whenever you want to get rid of it. And you can buy it on places like Piteus.io. Like, this is a great place, Piteus.io. Link in the description below. 1 Ethereum will get you 1,324 INC token today. Also on GoPulse.com, by the way, you can just always use the swap feature here. You could always just go INC token and buy it using whatever other coin you want, assuming you've got some PulseChain coins. But look, what else can we say about the INC token? What other good things can we say? It's new, it's green, it's got a whole dollar value, low supply, low starting supply, and it also dipped the heaviest out of any coins, okay? Any of these core blue chip coins right here, Pulse INC token actually went from $80 down to 40 cents. It spiked up at the beginning because people were aping into it because it was new, it was shiny, everything was shiny, people were euphoric, okay? It dipped 99%, and then it rebounded extremely hard. I mean, relative to the other coins here, it actually rebounded like a 15x off of the all-time low, harder than Pulse and Hex and PulseX. But you'll notice the coins that, what goes down must come up, essentially. It's the concept of elasticity. So, because PulseX also went down a whole bunch, it also had the ability to snap back harder. INC went down even harder than PulseX, okay, on the chart. So it snapped back up 15x to, $3 or $4. It actually went as high as like 9 or 10 if you look at bottom to top. And just look at these off the all-time lows. INC is still 6x off the all-time low. 6x. So, we know that it's in stronger hands because the people that are taking the risk to mine or farm this coin, they're also the believers. The set of users that are farming this coin are the real PulseChain believers, okay? The real PulseX, INC, Hex believers. Maybe they also like the idea of scaling out using USDC to Pulse. That's an advanced strategy. We could talk about that in a different video. We're going to go on talking about INC token. Why else is it cool? Well, guess what? If you're scared about the SEC lawsuit. Now, look, personally, I understand what I'm holding. Okay, I understand that the SEC suing a piece of software code, okay, they can't drag a piece of code into court. It's very, very bizarre. They're suing Richard Hart, okay? They're suing Richard Hart. they can't take my Pulse away from me. They can't stop me from buying more INC token. So I choose not to be scared by the SEC, not to mention they're suing everybody out here, right? Hide your kids, hide your wife. Suing everybody. I mean, MetaMask is getting sued. Coinbase is getting sued. Binance got sued. In the Coinbase lawsuit, they named all kinds of tokens. Solana, Cardano. They named all these coins as securities. So you as the market can decide whether or not you care about this. I know the SEC sounds scary, but in crypto land, they're basically making a mockery out of themselves. The SEC has become a joke a little bit to some people. For example, Solana degens, the market decided that they don't care that Solana was named as a potential unregistered security. Solana went up 8x just recently in the past couple months. So you can choose to care about it or you can choose not to. But if you do care, well, lucky for you, congratulations. INC token was not mentioned in the Richard Hart versus SEC lawsuit. They only mentioned Pulse, PulseX, and Hex. So if that matters to you, congratulations. All right. Now, one day also, like I mentioned earlier, somebody might come along and put some utility on our good old utility list token. Right now, even the founder has said that INC token could be considered one of the hottest meme coins on PulseChain because it has, utility. Okay, now look at this tweet from Blue Bum over here. If you don't believe me, I'll prove it to you. This was in the code. Okay, this is in the MasterChef code. And PulseX is a fork of Uniswap v2, which is a fork of essentially the MasterChef contract. None of this really matters to you. Just look at the code. Thank you, Mr. Blue Bum, for shouting this out. Mr. Blue Bum says he took a screenshot of the code, and it says this. Note that the contract is ownable and the owner wields tremendous power. This is in all the Uniswap forks, by the way. This is normal in the Sushi Chef contract. The ownership will be transferred to a governance smart contract once INC is sufficiently distributed and the community can be shown to govern itself. Very interesting, right? Something to look forward to on the horizon. Now, how long is that going to take? Honestly, it could take years. I might be holding my bag of INC for years, okay? But when it's sufficiently distributed, guess what? Who is it distributed to? INC is distributed to the strong hands of the true believers, the power users, the liquidity providers. Okay, so when you distribute this token, and the people that aren't cheating it are the most valuable members, okay? Maybe they're the ones that deserve the voting rights in the protocol. So this was outlined specifically in the code. Thank you, Blue Bum, for shouting this out. You can look forward to INC voting at some point in the future. When is that going to be? Nobody knows. Could be a year, could be 5 years. And whenever they feel like INC token is distributed out of all the hands of the plebs, and it's only in the wise council of elders that is the liquidity providers, okay? So, potential utility, no SEC lawsuit, fair launch, in strong hands. If you like these narratives, you're going to love INC. I almost said SEC. We don't love them, right? We really don't love them. DEXs and farms. There's other places, by the way, that you can go park your INC token in. People don't realize this. Phux.io, phux.io, they've got a yield farm. You can park your INC in the RH Maxi yield farm. You can make 8 to 10% APY there. Now, what's even more attractive right now is 9-inch. 9-inch, the world's rock hard DEX, all of our favorite. 8 inches better than 1 inch on Ethereum. 9-inch is the meme coin DEX. 9-inch is the bastard stepchild of PulseX. Okay? So go down here, and you'll find that when you're looking through the yield farms over here on 9inch.io, and you're looking for a place to park that INC token that might earn an even higher yield than PulseX, BBC, big bonus coin, get your mind out of the gutter, big bonus coin tied with INC token, is 77.7% APR right now. If you got 100 grand of INC token paired to BBC, 50 grand of INC, 50 grand of BBC, you make $77,700 in a year. That's a full-time job. Okay, you're making as much money in the form of BBC coin. Have fun explaining that one to your tax advisor. You're making more money than some people make in a year off 100 grand stake in half INC, half BBC. Now look, I'm still a big fan of the INC PulseX because I like the fact that it's circular, it all routes back, it feeds into itself. Okay, it feeds into itself. But just know that there's other options. Again, you can buy it on Pateus.io. You can buy this token anywhere. Okay, you can buy it on PulseX. Pretty deep liquidity too. Look, you've got almost, you got about $32 million of liquidity here for INC token. Liquidity, well, 28 million. Okay, I was a little off there. 28 million should be enough for the average Joe like you and me. Okay, should be enough. Now, INC token could be a sleeper cell. Again, I will be getting rid of this token quicker than my PulseX Hex. I don't have the same emotional attachment. You know, they say never marry your bags. I married my bags, okay? PulseX Hex. I'm in Hex for 15 years. INC doesn't have staking. I'd probably be willing to part with my INC sooner than some of my other coins out there. Now, when the bull market comes in, everybody should be taking profit on everything, okay? Should all be skimming some profits off the top, especially if you have the courage to believe in the coins now when everyone hates them. Okay, be the contrarian. But there's INC token, no staking yet. And that's not to say, by the way, that some random developer, some builder in the ecosystem, they can come along and invent a staking platform. They can invent all kinds of utility. It doesn't have to be Richard Hart's team. It doesn't have to be voting. It doesn't have to be the PulseChain developers adding voting. It could be something completely out of left field that we don't see coming. So INC, it's new, it's shiny. I used to think it was a perma-dump token. I used to think, well, because I'm mining it, you know, and it's just coming in, it's like a money printer every day. I was selling some as well, and I'm still going to sell some over time, okay? I'm still selling some as needed, but I have maintained a pretty sizable chunk. And let's go look at something else really cool, okay? Look at gopulse.com. Here's something fun. Go to stats and click on leagues. Do this with me, all right? You can look at the holders in PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex, and INC token, and look at how much it takes to be a whale in INC token. Not even $1 million. Look at a shark. A shark is almost as good as a whale, okay? $90,000 to be an INC shark. 32,000 INC tokens makes you one of the top holders in INC. Now, some people like this, right? This goes back to the fair launch thing. People don't like other people having more tokens than them. People are greedy and jealous and haters at the end of the day. A lot of people just point fingers and they say, oh, why would I buy that coin? It's got so many big whales. They're going to dump on me forever. It's like, have fun in any single coin, bro. Any single coin with reasonable liquidity. Have fun complaining about the people with more Tesla shares than you. Go buy Tesla. And then when the price goes down, you can go point and complain about the whales that have more Tesla shares. Okay. But if this fair launch thing does matter to you, look at how much more money it takes to be a shark in PulseX, and Hex. Okay. Look at this. $7 million in Pulse, $3 million in PulseX, $4 million, maybe $5 million in Hex. Look, relatively not that much to become one of the top holders, but compared to $90,000, not even $100,000 to be a shark in INC. Now, this goes back to the fact that the bigger holders don't have as much money to dump. Now, there's still $28 million of liquidity. But let's look at Hex. Hex has only $20 million of liquidity. Hex has even less liquidity, all right, than INC token does. But the top holders of Hex have $5 million to be a shark. So it costs less to be a shark in INC. It costs less to be a whale in INC token, which could mean that there's a more fair distribution if you so choose to believe that. Now let's end on this note, okay? Let's go ahead and end and wrap things up here. I just joined the INC PulseX pool about a month ago, and I think I got lucky with this entry. Now, I said that before about the EHEX-HEX pair. Thought I got lucky at a 2-to-1 ratio, but then we got wrecked, right? Nobody to blame but ourselves and, you know, our little weak hands on the sell button. But let's take a look at the INC PulseX pair. Let's go over here. We're going to go to INC token, and let's look at INC paired to PulseX. We're clicking on this one. Why? Because look, it's INC relative to PulseX. INC priced in terms of PulseX. $30 million in this liquidity pair, which means $15 million on each side. Now, to go get the ratio, what do we do, guys, on Dex Screener? Get rid of that. We go up here where it says price in USD. No, we want price in PLSX, okay? We want price in PLSX, and this shows us that, look, for the last couple of weeks here, we've basically flatlined on the INC PLSX pair, which is very interesting because this is the ideal scenario that you want as a liquidity provider. Now, I was scared to provide yield on INC versus anything at first because it dropped from $80 to 40 cents. Okay? That's a ton of impermanent loss if it doesn't go back up. Now, after it's gone back up, look, it's about stagnant at 125K, 125,000 PulseX equals 1 INC token. Now let's look at this over the course of the history of the chart. All right, look at this chart. And what I was looking for basically was I was looking for after this huge giant pump, remember up to $80 and dip all the way to 40 cents, I wanted to see it revert to the mean because I wanted to see if it fluctuates around and mean reverts. That would be the ideal time to enter your liquidity position. And so far, after we went down below this line, we spent some time below it, we just popped right back up above it, right back up the very starting price here. And I just figured, because look at the very beginning starting price here. Okay, look at the very beginning price. It came all the way back to that price, and I said, okay, well now seems like a good time to enter the liquidity position. And I did, and when I did that about a month ago, it literally just flatlined. It didn't even start to, I was expecting it to curve up and down and bounce around. It's just staying flat. So in the ideal yield farmer's dream, you want high volume, low volatility in the pair. So you want them not to move against each other at all to minimize impermanent loss, but you still want to get all those fees, or you want to get all that INC token in the case of PulseX. So far, it's up to you. You can join this if you want to or not. If you think it's going to keep going sideways, seems like a pretty decent idea to me. Now, of course, things don't go sideways forever, so it's going to be all good until it's not. Just like, it's sunny outside until one day it starts raining. Things are good right now. How long is this going to last for? I don't know, but I'm raking in 40% APY, minimal impermanent loss risk, and just got lucky that it seems to be stagnating as a ratio, INC versus PulseX, at around the exact same price. Weirdly enough, it's almost eerie how close it is to the very beginning ticker. 125K PulseX, shot up, definitely overshot, undershot. But then look, guys, in signals theory, I remember this one from school. The signal always reverts to the mean over time. You think it's going to continue? You think this is a terrible idea? It's totally up to you to decide, guys. Totally up to you to decide. 40% APY is pretty high, and I'm enjoying my yield, so that's why INC token's attractive. This is why some people like it, some people might not care. What do you think? Is it the hottest meme coin on PulseChain right now? Is it in the strongest hands? Does it have potential to keep pumping? I think a lot of people do agree that it's got potential to keep pumping. And again, just to summarize, I'm farming it, meaning I'm not putting fresh money into INC. I do put fresh money into the other coins, but I like farming my INC. I'm a simple farmer. The crops, the yields are great. Okay, I'm tending to my crops every day. If you don't care about farming, you can also just buy it on a good old-fashioned DEX with good old-fashioned money. Or not. What do you think? Buy it, farm it, dump it, accumulate it. I've been accumulating it and sticking it back in here lately. You do whatever you want to do at the end of the day. You're an adult, make your own decisions. Like, subscribe, share the video, leave a comment. All that stuff really does help all these videos go viral. It helps me to help you, help everybody pump all of our bags. So I'll see you on the next video.